Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So, people, I want to talk to you about my asthma. I'm actually going to share on several different conditions, if you will, that I've had in the past that have been healing as a result of being plant-based vegan and raw vegan as much as possible. I can't say 100%, but really on task when it comes to raw vegan, which is truly my preference. But anyway, just for a moment. So the icon was because I'm doing a challenge. My little sister was like, "Where are your foods, Jules? You might want to photograph those." Perfectly imperfect. So today was day 6 out of 30, and I shared just another fantastic dressing. Again, just experiment with those. You cannot go wrong, you know. A little salty, a little sweet, a little citric, you know, and it just comes together. Like, take that risk. Anyway, though, let me just tell you a little bit of my history regarding asthma. So, as a child, I never had asthma, and I still do not have, like, exercise-related asthma. Mine is totally provoked environmentally. So it's kind of a combination of allergies and resulting in the response of asthma. So anyway, even in my early 20s, right, 20, 23, 25, everybody gave me perfume. And you will not recognize these because I'm 2 years younger than God. But one of the most popular was called Charlie, which was so wonderful. And another one was Tatiana, which was another just fantastic scent. I really enjoyed that. I loved going to the body store and getting oils, fragrant oils for massages. Jasmine was one of my favorite. I enjoyed scented candles, all the things, honestly. But when I think about it, I was pretty much normal weight up until my senior year in high school, and then certainly after high school, when I graduated and realized I had no tools for life, or certainly the tools I received were not the ones I needed. So unfortunately, I comforted myself with food and just started my adult nightmare of full-blown obesity. Well, of course, with that was the standard American diet. I always enjoyed some fruit. I always liked a good salad. But for me, if I had a lettuce leaf on a hamburger, I got my greens. That is brilliant compared to today, okay? Where I can eat enough for a small country when it comes to greens. But anyway, that's kind of where I was at. So I just continued with that standard American diet, okay? I'm for sure prone towards being a sugar addict. And so I literally would go for 3 weeks at a time just eating packaged nonsense. Not even kidding you. Never having a fresh piece of anything, okay? And then at the same time, I was eating meat. And I'm talking double bacon avocado cheeseburger with a second one on the side. I mean, honestly, when my husband and I first got together, when my husband got together, I got together. Anyway, I'm just saying, did I say that right? My husband and I got together. My husband got together. I think I'm okay. Anyway, though, we were weekend warriors, but for food. How much could we consume, okay? So other people do exercise. Had there been an Olympic game, just in keeping with the Summer Games theme, I'm quite certain we could have tag teamed for the gold. Definitely a gold and silver together, for sure. Okay, so with that, what I had no idea was that it was affecting my inability to breathe, okay? I had no idea. I just didn't know that I was poisoning myself from the inside out. So over time, it became super difficult as a teacher, and I would love to say that this is gone. It is not. Where my students would just wear a terrific amount of perfume, and that multiplied times, 30 kids with an inappropriate amount was causing horrific migraines and asthma attacks for me. A couple of different times, they like burnt popcorn in the teacher's lounge. I literally had to go to the hospital to get a breathing treatment. So little things like that were starting to happen. When it finally was tapping out for me was when I couldn't sit through a mass. And granted, I'm in communities that favor perfume. It's just part of their culture. But it just got to where I literally couldn't make it through a mass. I'd have to leave. And that, I kind of wondered if it was a spirit of oppression, because I am a God person. And I just kind of wondered if the devil was kind of giggling at that. But I will never put everything on the devil. First of all, I don't even want to consider him that brilliant or give him that much credit. But I'm more than willing to take on my part. So I didn't know that I was causing much of the asthmatic response I was having to life. So I started with over-the-counter inhalers. Like, I think it was like Primatene Mist or something. I literally just got an over-the-counter one. And then finally, I went and Kaiser evaluated me. Now, let's be fair. I'm weighing 280, 300 pounds, okay? I mean, at any time, suggesting I lose some weight to allow my lungs to fill out and breathe would have been great. But they were super polite. Okay, so it was absolutely determined that in addition to my allergies, which is classic, I know, to dogs, of which I've had many and still have many, to dirt. I live in the high desert. Good luck with that. There were several different things, but it was just really, really bad. So a couple years ago, when I finally found out that there was a better way to live with plant-based and vegan, raw vegan, all of the different ways, getting off of processed foods, all of a sudden my breathing started to improve. Like I could sit through mass. And even my husband was like, how can you handle it? Which is really funny because he used to love to wear Stetson and stuff. It was so bummed when he had to stop wearing that because I couldn't breathe. And he is dying in mass. But I think between a combination of prayer and definitely an improved diet, I was able to get off of QVAR, which was the twice in the morning, twice at night pump, and also albuterol, which I think is the emergency inhaler. Sorry if I have those backwards. Praise God, I haven't had to use them for a while. I keep that emergency inhaler because, again, for me, it's environmental. So cut grass can get me. Industrial cleaners can get me. Those things can get me unexpectedly, but nowhere like before. I never have to go to the hospital. I don't have to get breathing treatments anymore. I do not use that daily preventative inhaler. No, I do not. I only occasionally use the emergency one, and even that is rare. Like I always remind myself, you'll pass out before you die. Most likely, you will pass out before you die from whatever it is that's affecting you. So I will say that my asthma, and my doctors I'm sure would agree, is probably 97% at bay. Okay, there's like a 3% margin, again, environmental mostly, or if I start engaging in nonsense. I'm telling you, I've challenged it a few times, unfortunately, in these last couple of years, where I have had processed vegan food, junk food vegan, right? And right away, my asthma rears its ugly head right away. So it's a trade-off, and it's one that I'm super grateful for having the insight for. So the reason I say 3% is, like, I just had 2 incidences. I'm teaching summer school right now, and it's a different school site, and the kids don't know me, and I've tried to ask them to please abstain from the perfumes and things. But one of them, this girl just came in with an unbelievable amount of perfume, and it was all over her sweater and stuff as well. And I desperately had to open the windows, open the door. It was 111 degrees outside. I had to ask her to please take off her sweater. Luckily, she could, and hang it outside. In other times, I still would have had to leave school. I would have had to have someone take my class and go home. I probably would have been in a lot of physical pain and even crying on my way home. I was able to stay. I was able to do what I did and stay. That's a huge improvement, like huge, seriously. And then I had one other potential asthmatic incident that I tried not to freak out on. Come on, Juliana, what was it? I feel like it also had to do with school. Anyway, it's very rare, and I'm stoked. And I attribute that to my food, honestly. I mean, to only have an occasional emergency inhaler. I used to take that inhaler 6 to 8 pumps a day. The doctor even said, we're so glad this is helping you and is helping the inflammation around your lungs and everything, but you need to know that using it in that extreme could shorten your life by up to 10 years. Oh my gosh. So it's like, okay, what's going to kill me first? This extreme obesity and all of the ridiculous food that I'm binging my head off on, or the inability to breathe as a result of the inflammation from the ridiculous amount of food and obesity? It was a tough one. It was a really tough one. So I'm really so incredibly grateful to realize that toxic food equals toxic body equals toxic lungs. And I'm just so grateful that my lungs are just so terrifically improved. I guess one thing that I would say is I am still affected, no doubt, because I really have a hyper sensitivity to smell. So I'm like acutely aware. But the difference is I don't have to leave over it or have a breakdown over it or go to the hospital for a treatment. And I've had my own treatment, devices at times as well. I'm so happy that I don't have to use that. I'm so grateful. So just like one other situation was my husband and I, oh my gosh, amazing. We lifted thousands of pounds today. And I've expressed this before, where I'm so grateful when I can get my exercise through physicality that matters. So taking care of the animals, taking care of our McCants Ranch, which is 1.25 acres. But hey, we've proclaimed it, all right? It's McCants Ranch. So working on the ranch. And so today we had to pick up a bunch of these metal sheets. And they were terrifically heavy, like crazy heavy. And we also had to pick up pipes and just all this stuff. And we had to move them more than once. And it was a really pleasant, like 107, which I say because it's coming up on 115 and 117. But anyway, we had to do that. And some of those metal planks had like a oil or gas smell on them, which before would have freaked me out and I would not have been able to continue. But by grace and being on my program, even though I didn't like it, I was absolutely able to tolerate it. And that is a huge change. So for that, I consider myself healed. And I just keep a small little red flag in the back of my mind saying, this is still something your body may cater to. So don't be stupid. Have that emergency inhaler. But yeah, consider yourself healed and stay on your plan, Juliana. That's the big deal. So, all right, my friends, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for stopping in. I encourage you to post your pics of food. Day 6, you're not late. You're right on time for health. We'll do day 7 tomorrow, which may be day 1 for you. I would love it. Post anywhere, even for yourself. Just take a picture for yourself if you want. It's accountability. It's a celebration. And it's just showing that you matter. People, it is still 93 degrees at 10:44 at night. I know, only 10:44, Jules? My gosh, you'll still be up for hours. Not my intention, smarty pants. All right, like if you like, join us if you haven't subscribed. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you. And until we talk again, best of all, know that asthma is something you can clear up in your lungs if you dare to eat God's food. Plants, vegetables, healthy fats. Until we talk again, best of all, for that reason alone, know that you are blessed.